kind of that group. Matt Butler was a parade All-American and high character kid. Very excited about him. Kevon Bennett, son of Cornelius Bennett, great story. And to get him was exciting. Eric Crosby has been committed to us for a long time, and the defensive end position to get Marquez Bembry is a 100-meter champ in the state of Georgia. Ryan Thaxton and DeAndre Johnson is an early enrollee, a kid on a state championship team out of Florida. Was exciting. I contend that our 3 linebackers, they were the guys that we wanted. I mean, we got A, B, and C. I mean, Solon Page, I've always said, is one of the most underrated players in the 17 class. Will Ignat's one of the top inside linebackers in Alabama and in the southeast region, really. And Shannon Reed to be on campus and working hard is really exciting. And obviously we also, with the way we sort of played at the end of the year, we have spots everywhere, and there's going to be competition everywhere. And I really like the guys in the secondary. I mean, Cheyenne LeBruz at the corner has been committed to us for a while, and he's an A1 kid, even as good a player as he is, even better person. Schematic out of Colquitt County in Georgia is a legitimate dude who we think can compete for playing time. And the other corner is Terrell Bailey out of New Orleans. He plays against good competition all the time, has elite ball skills. And the 2 safeties are from the mid-state. Malik Gray and Theo Jackson are really good players. Theo's got great range and some corner skills, and Malik has toughness and physicality and brings kind of a nasty demeanor to them. So we're excited.
When you got here last year in January or whatever, did you just have to kind of go in on who they were already recruiting as opposed to pick out some guys, or?
Well, sort of. I mean, I sort of picked out 3 guys that I kind of focused on, and we were fortunate enough to get them all. And other people had set the table.
Right.
But I mean, Warrior, Bird, and Kongbo were kind of that last day guys, if you remember. This year it wasn't like that. There was really no drama at the very end. I mean, there's no pulling the hat or great recruiting stories. Kind of went as planned. And so today was really just kind of it really was kind of just a normal day.
And you've having been here through a whole cycle now, did you, in the evaluation part, have more influence targeting who you were going after?
Oh, well, obviously than a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, last year was kind of a unique year, and sometimes it's difficult when you come into a staff and you're the only new guy on the staff on the side of a ball, and you're trying to fit into the culture. Rather than put your stamp on things, you're trying to fit in and understand things like T-Tough, 63, Orange Swarm, all the things that Coach preaches all the time. And to me, I feel much more comfortable now, and I'm really looking forward to year 2 and putting my stamp on things. And that includes the recruiting piece, saying, this is what we're looking for at D-tackle, this is what we're looking for at DN, this is what we're looking for at the linebacker position, this is the body type and speed and skill set we're looking for at different positions. And I'm excited about the young players on the roster, and I'm excited about these young players.
What is that body type at D-tackle? I mean, you've got Eric's obviously a bigger body than say a Matthew Butler, who's got the versatility to play inside, outside. What does a Bob Shoop defensive line look like?
You really recruit mostly DNs, and hopefully one of them ultimately becomes a 3 technique. If you're asking what they look like, I always say power forwards. Picture a power forward. I mean, that's what you're looking for. A guy who can put weight on, but he has explosiveness, he's dynamic, he can be disruptive, he's physical. And then it's a guy like Crosby who's more in the mold of Khalil McKenzie or those guys. He's a bigger body guy who's what we term a 1 technique, and he's a space eater and things like that. But you ask about a Bob Shoop defense, it's about movement, it's about athletic ability, and that's why we were trying all year to put Kongbo in a position that he might end up moving inside. And I don't know what we're going to do there, but I'm really looking forward to this spring. I'm looking forward to watching. We're going to have more competition, I think, than we had last year at all 3 levels of the defense, and that's very, very exciting.
Even with guys banged up front, do you think you're going to have that kind of competition?
Maybe not in the spring, but as the summer and training camp begin, I actually think, I said this today when I was writing out my top 22 and looking at different players. I mean, I get that we lost Barnett, Vereen, I get that we lost Lewis, but I'm excited to watch Mixon, Kongbo, Phillips, and Darrell Taylor play outside. I'm excited to watch Khalil and a healthy Shy. I'm excited to watch Kendall Vickers. I'm excited to watch Alexis Johnson. Quay Paku in 2 weeks working with Rock has changed his body and his demeanor tremendously. So I think there's those guys and these freshmen. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. We're gonna be able to run 8 or 9 guys out there, and that's exciting.
Bob, you mentioned the corners. What specifically maybe about those 3 corners do you like?
Well, I always use the basketball analogy. I said power forwards for the DNs, they're like shooting guards. You want shooting guards at the corner position. That's what they want to look like. Length is a buzzword that you hear nowadays. Confidence, ball skills, the ability to play man-to-man coverage and be on an island out there, the ability to finish, the ability to reroute and jam and play the flats. We're going to make some, obviously, we finished in the top 35 in the country in takeaways and pass efficiency defense, but certainly we know we need to improve in that area. And there's some things that we can do scheme-wise and technique-wise to help some of those corners. I'm very, very excited about Coach Warren. He's done a great job fitting into the program in his first couple weeks, and I'm very, very excited about some of the new guys that we have as well.
You mentioned kind of the same question at linebacker, Coach.
I got to get Mike after this. Then, so
Coach Jones mentioned today that you guys put more stress on guys who played instinctually as opposed to maybe just measurables. What kind of motivated that?
I'm an old school guy with regard to that. I still remember. You guys remember the head coach, George O'Leary, who was a defense coordinator at Georgia Tech, then the head coach of Central Florida, and I think he's the head coach at Georgia Tech. I remember sitting in I was a young coach, sitting watching recruiting film with him one day, and I'm pointing at the guy and going, "Oh, he's too small," or "He's too this," or "He's too that," and he kept looking at me, and I was like, look at here, he goes, "Coach, that guy just made 10 tackles in a row." So it's about football players. It's about guys that can make plays, and that's what it is. When you put a guy's film, all the measurables and all that, I think the scouts and all those people like those things. But it's guys, and measurables are important. I want to say that it's a big man's league, but at the same time, it's guys who can make plays. We need guys who can go out and make plays, not just have a schemed up blitz or a schemed up situation to make a play. We need guys who can win their one-on-one battles on a more consistent basis. Mike.
Yeah, you mentioned that you were going to put more of your stamp on it. I know the run defense is something you stress. Will there be any types of changes schematically or just a different mentality as far as that goes?
To be determined. We're still in early. Recruiting was the priority now. We haven't really even had much of a chance to sit down as a defensive staff. I've watched every single game from last year. I've watched every cut-up. I have ideas in my head. I've talked to Fig, I've talked to Charlton, I've talked to Strip, and we've talked as a staff about some things. It's really about getting the best 11 players on the field to start with. That's the most important thing. And I've said this from the beginning, rather than recruit players to fit a scheme, it's about tailoring the scheme around the talent and the players. And so that's important. And you may see more 4-3 than 4-2-5 concepts, but to the naked eye, it won't look a whole lot different. It's just, we talk about style of play. That's what we want to do. And to me, I thought if I were to summarize it, 3 things we need to improve: less drama, less injuries, and less explosive plays. If we can get that, we have a chance to be pretty good.